You've got a Fiat Ducato, Peugeot Boxer or Citroen Relay with a 6-speed gearbox, and you're finding it hard to get into reverse or into first and second. A lot of people will start thinking it's a gearbox problem, or they've got to change the gearbox oil, or some type of linkage problem. It's not. There's an easy adjustment which adjusts the selection between first, second and first. You just take this trim off, which will just pop off. You put it back. You put it into 4th gear because it gives you the most amount of space, and then the thing you want to adjust is this linkage here. The adjustment on this linkage is held into place by this spring. You will not be able to push this spring down until you release the locking tab. There's a little tab behind here, behind this spring, that needs to be pushed backwards, and then the spring gets locked into position. So what you do is you put your hands in there, you push the tab back, then you can compress the spring. It is fiddly, and it helps if you have smaller hands, but once you push that tab back, you kind of have to play with it because it doesn't always want to hold the spring down. You've got to be really gentle with it because the spring does want to pop back up. Just depress the spring a little bit and then push the tab back in. Obviously when I want to make the video, it's being a right pain to do. You can use a screwdriver if you're not able to get in there. It's easier with your left hand. Right, you can see that spring's depressed. Then you can move the gear lever from the left to the right, and what you'll see is this little thing is moving in and out of adjustment. If you move too far downwards like this, it will be easy to get into reverse, but first and second will be tough to get into. If you move it too far this way, you'll find it's the opposite. It'll be easy to get into first and second, but not into reverse. So you can make a marking on your original with a pencil. Mine's roughly about there. What I'm going to do is move it just a little bit further, so it's almost touching that tab there, and then I'll just use a little screwdriver and I'll just release that locking tab. You can see the spring pops back into position. Essentially, when it's adjusted correctly, this piece of plastic trim should be rubbing along this. That's what I found. If I adjust it too far forwards, they'll actually, when you try and engage first and second, there'll be a gap between these two. They won't rub together. But you can see here, first, second is easy to engage, and then reverse is pretty good. Before I made this adjustment, reverse was really notchy. It was really hard to get into. Then obviously grease up all your linkages. So you want to put some grease here where it's rubbing, some grease there, and obviously grease down here. And if you've got liquid grease, spray some of these linkages. I don't think they need it because they've got nylon sleeves, a lot of these, so they're self-lubricating, but it doesn't hurt to put a bit of grease in there. Right, that's the job done.